Tuesday, March 12th, as we get to do some learning stuff. Let's see. Those of you who are here and alive, if you have iPad, we're going to be talking about your 9-week assessment in just a moment to help you out from there. And we'll talk about the current grade. Thursday's quiz is your last grade for this 9 weeks. Monday is the new 9 weeks, and we'll talk about Thursday's quiz. Skyward is updated with your essays. They went in as a double grade, so it definitely had an impact on whatever your current grade was. And then hopefully you're enjoying the new Fortnite map and mythics and stuff like that and getting a chance to unlock things. I've had people who keep complaining.
Zeus mythics are overpowered.
Just like Zeus and wait, no. People keep complaining until you get down to the end, then you can't use it because people have actual aim.
I got aim for real.
Well, then there you go. Hi, Emery.
Can I look at my grades?
Yeah, that's what you can do right now. So, here is where your iPad comes in. If you have not looked at your grade for the assessment, that's the thing you should be doing like now. Like right now, you can go in there and take it. In Canvas, you can look at Skyward and Canvas, but Canvas-wise, there's going to be a little rubric I'm going to show you that explains how the grading of it worked. Essentially, the grading broke down to exactly what I told you. If you read the articles and followed the directions, you got a B+ to an A. If you did not follow the directions, and a lot of kids did not follow the directions, you probably got the D or the F. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how that worked. You do get a chance to fix it if you want. If you look at yours and your grade is below a 22, you can fix it and get up to a 22. Because I think a 22 is a C+. And so you can go all the way up to a C+ if you want. This is what you're looking for. There's an area that says assignment comments. And it's going to have a little rubric thing in there. Although hopefully yours has better numbers than this one, which is a 01800. But it's possible, because I'll walk you through here in the explanation. Just like young Emery's going to have to wait for me to get done talking, and I can help her out too. If you're wanting to fix it, I will grade them this weekend. And then I will update all grades then. If you do them this week, that's great. I still won't grade them until this weekend. Then you can get up to the 22 out of 28 by then. Here's how the actual grading of it works. If you look at here, it has introduction, body, grammar, conclusion. This is the thing I showed you. Introduction, body. Grammar was just, did you figure out how to use capital letters? For a lot of you, the answer is no. Did you not spell the word you as just the letter U? And then finally, conclusion. If you want to look at yours, I will tell you now where all the points came from and went to help you. Introduction. If you did not tell me what integrity is, that cost you a point. A lot of people did not define integrity. They just said integrity is great. Everyone wants to have integrity. Let me show you examples of integrity. But you never tell me, is integrity a type of food? Is it a dance that you can do? Is it a special kind of frog? You never actually say what integrity is. So I was looking for you to tell me, what is integrity? The next one, homeless man or teacher article. Here's where our issues start. You had to mention one of these 4 things. Raise others up, keep your agreements, develop positive habits, or make better choices. You had to mention one of those 4 things to tell me what the homeless man did. Did the homeless guy make a better choice? Did he develop a positive habit? Did he keep an agreement? So on and so forth. And then you went through and explained it. And so the homeless man went there. Or you could have done other article. The one about the kid that stole the tennis ball, or the Major League Baseball player who did the contract negotiation. Tell me which one they did. That's it. Then you told me about your own life. In your life, what is it you have done? Have you kept your agreement, raised others up, make better choices, so on and so forth? Here's where the issue came in. If you did not mention one of these 4, I could only give you half credit on your paragraph, which means you got a 4 out of 8. So if you never, on this one, if you never mention raise others up or make better choices, you got a 4 out of 8. So if you look at yours and you got a 4 out of 8, that's why. Then same thing in your own life. A lot of you wrote really good essays. really detailed with information, and you still failed because you didn't answer the question. I felt awful, but I can't give you a grade if you never answer the question, which was, how is it that those things get used? And that's all I want. If you want to redo it, you can fix it, and I will regrade it. You just have to make sure you mention those things in there, and then you should be good. Questions as far as the assessment goes, Emery?
I don't have a question anymore. I figured it out.
Good job, Emery. No one else either then? All right. Then if you're still looking at your grade for a second, you can, but other than that, we're done with it. So, my basketball team ended this past weekend. So now I have free time to start working on Camp Tecumseh. So I started looking through your Camp Tecumseh friend list you turned in. Well, what was our big issue with the assessment? Why people struggled? Not following directions. I went through and looked at the friend list. You want to guess what I'm getting ready to say?
There's something about me.
A lot of you are not going to have friends in your group at camp because you did not follow directions at all. So, as an example, this was the list that I have. Like, this was an actual one that was turned in that I just went ahead and copied and pasted. I just covered up the names so you can't see who submitted it. I'm going to show you what the problems are here in just a moment.
Oh no.
So, I don't want you guys to not have friends. But if you didn't follow the directions, I just deleted your whole entry. I got down to about 40 kids who have entries that I'm keeping. So, I have reopened the Socratic. You get to resubmit one friend list where you can now do it correctly, and I will give you your friends. And I will walk you through how not to screw this up. If you don't want to resubmit it, that is absolutely fine with me. If you have no friend list submitted, I get to choose friends for you. Again, when you sign in, how are you supposed to sign into Socrative?
What's your last name?
Good job. Last name, then first name. If not, I just went ahead and deleted you. Then you had to go through there and list your friends. How do you list them?
Last name.
If you didn't do last name, first name, delete. Let's look at some examples. So, as I was going through and looking at these, first off, if you did not do last name, first name, I just went ahead and deleted yours and it's gone. Because if you don't care enough to follow directions, I don't care enough to pay attention because it makes extra work. That's why this morning, Mr. Butts read a thing where he said, the choices you make today shape how many friends are in your camp group in April. Or something like that. This is my first one. What's our issue here?
They're all in the same one.
They're all in the same box. You're supposed to have one name per box. All this tells me is I can't follow directions. Do you know what's easy for me to do? Delete. That one's gone. So then I kept looking. I'm like, oh, this one looks like they followed directions, except they didn't. Do you know what they did here?
They put numbers.
Numbers. Numbers are not letters. If you put numbers in there, it messes up the alphabetizing. Do you know what's easier to do?
Delete.
Delete. How about this one?
Oh,
No
first
last
name.
name.
Did not do last name, first name. Again, that puts you out of order whenever I'm trying to do the alphabetizing. So what am I going to do?
Delete.
Delete.
You should do
So as I go through there, I am not doing extra work because someone can't follow a direction. It's much easier for me to delete it and then have you suffer from your choices. So, same thing here. This was an honor society kid in my advanced class who also did not follow directions.
Hey, it was Miriam.
So, not trying to call anyone out,
Oh, my bad.
but it's okay. If you would like to resubmit it, you have all the way until Sunday of this week to resubmit it. If you come ask me, did I do it wrong? The answer is yes. Because I'm just going to tell everyone, yep, you did it wrong. Because the other issue is, a lot of people submitted like 4 or 5 attempts. I don't know which one you want me to pay attention to. I would have like Bobby Brown and his entry. And then the next one would say Brown Bobby, this one. And then Brown Bobby, 3rd attempt. And then Brown Bobby, no, this is the real one. Brown Bobby, ignore the other. I don't know which one it is after you've turned in 8 of them. So in that case, I just highlighted all 8 And then,
Delete.
nicely done. So here's where I'm going to give you an option. If you would like to have friends in your camp group, follow directions, resubmit it, and then you have until Friday. If you have to submit it twice, I charge you B points on this one. You are only submitting it one time. That is it. If you have to submit it a second time, it costs you B points, and there's special directions. Because I'm going to start making groups this week. Speaking of which, we're down to 15 kids who have not turned in a permission slip, which is better than Stars and Globetrotters. In this class, we only have 3 kids who have not turned it in as of now. Sharier, I don't have one from you. Leah, rumor is you're going to bring it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Rashid, who's not here. The rest of you, you have it in. So that means hopefully you're turning in a friend list because you're going, and I get to give you a friend as long as you turn it in.
Wait.
Hi, a kid who doesn't know what tomorrow means. So that way we can actually turn it in tomorrow. Gunner, is that for me? Put it on my desk over there. Aaliyah, see me at the end. I'll hook you up with a new one. I would like to be nice to you. All right. Lucas?
Is there still like a way, like if you turn it in, do you like have to like go no matter what?
Unless your parents say no to the go-go.
Alright.
Then, oh no. Alright, so we're good to go there. Again, when you resubmit it, I want to put you with friends. So if you list friend and friend lists you, you should be golden, unless you're a turd child. Otherwise, my goal is to give it to you. I'm going to try to be nice to you, as long as you and your friend list each other. You could probably manipulate things up to like a list of like 3 of you. Again, Molly, Rosie, Matt, and then they all sort of list each other. I can even try to go that far again, as long as you're decent kids. I'll do my best to try to be nice to you. Your number 3 and number 4 spots are just more of an emergency in case your 1 and 2 friends don't list you. If these 2 people list you, I'm probably not going to pay much attention to those. I'm going to go off of your 1 and 2 spots. Hi, Lucas.
Wait, do you need a comma?
No, that I don't care about. Commas are fine.
Just a space?
Just a space is fine. So we're good to go on camp.
Yeah.
All right. Camp info for people who need it, and to there. Then, let's see how well we're doing here. If you have Notebook open, you can either close Notebook or put something in Notebook. I want to see how well this is in your brain, because today we're going to be taking 3 volunteers to try and get 5 B points by being able to do this all on their own. And we're going to go through. So we're going to finish it today and then take our first volunteers. But first, we're going to try practicing it together to see how much is in your brain. But if I see you looking at your notebook or paper, I'm going to call you out and
You should
attack
shoot
you.
people.
Or I'm going to shoot you with my finger guns. Special
No, with the
child.
water.
Oh. There you go. Yeah, I don't have water up here, so it's not going to work.
But you might have coronavirus.
I might. Oh, now you're dead. Let's begin with...
Zeus, god of thunder.
So now, by the way, those of you who play Fortnite, now when you get to be your little Zeus, you get to go up in the air and be like, he dodged it, I'm dead. And you get to throw your little Zeus things at people.
Bro, it's so bad, bro.
Queen of all the gods.
Good job, Gakers. Be my only kid playing the game.
Hero!
Nicely done, which I'm looking forward to getting that skin.
Demeter. God of waves and harmony.
Nicely done. Maybe we won't have
Hephaestus, god of making metal weapons.
Smithing.
Ares. God of war.
Wussy!
And they definitely made him a lot tougher in the game than he is in Greek mythology.
Apollo,
Artemis.
Artemis, god of food.
And
Hunting. Apollo, god of sun and bodies. Hera, god of marriage.
Aphrodite.
God of love
love
and
and
beauty.
that goes along with prettiness.
Athena.
God of wisdom.
What the?
Did you get that far yet? Okay. That's how I was checking to see how far we were.
Oh, that's Harry. Oh, that's Harry. Messenger god. Hermes. Oh, it's Hermes.
Because Harry's is not a real thing at all. Hermes, that's a different one. So with our Hermes, we'll run through that story real quick. Hermes' mom is not a Titan. She was a
She was an elf.
Little
thing.
nymph, which was their version of an elf. It's the same thing. Zeus falls in deep life with her, and then because of her weird biology, the same day that she meets Zeus and is friendly,
She's pregnant.
she gets pregnant. And again, because of her weird biology, the same day she gets pregnant,
She birds.
she gives birth.
The kid steals the cows.
Little baby Hermes, she then takes a nap. While she's napping,
Steals the cows.
Hermes takes off and explores outside.
He steals Apollo.
And then what does he eventually find?
Steal Apollo.
Cows.
The golden cows.
What's special about these cows? Golden glowy cows. Golden glowy cows. And he brings them back. And then as we bring them back into,
They hide him.
except for one cow, which
He slaughtered.
he slaughters that
He
cow and
slaughters.
sacrifices it up to the gods, which is the thing we're going to end up talking about tomorrow, with why that's so important. And then we have the little stabby, and the moo-moo, and the moo, and the no, and the, there we go. Then he lays down to take his nap. Who shows up looking for the cows?
Apollo.
That's where Apollo tries to track them down, eventually finds them in the cave, starts yelling at Maya. While he's yelling at Maya, Hermes wakes up. Hermes, with his
Grows
ADHD,
older.
what does he find?
Grows old. He
Turtle,
grows old.
turtle shell or something.
Turtle shell.
Yeah.
What does he do with the turtle
Poke
shell?
it.
He
He
starts
makes
poking holes,
Instrument.
and then turns it into an instrument, which again, those of you playing Fortnite, this is the back bling you get like in the level 40 something. As I was going through all the pages, I saw they actually call it a lyre or a leer in there too, and I was like, hey, go that one. So it's actually a back bling you can get. Apollo, ooh, what does Apollo trade for it? All of the cows. He goes up to Mount Olympus to brag. Is this how far we got?
Yeah.
No, we went far.
Oh, all right, so he went up to Mount
all
Olympus to
happy. He's like,
brag.
I want to meet that.
And that's when Zeus says, I want to meet this kid,
now
comes
he's the
down to
messenger.
Earth,
And he's
ends
like,
up
"Oh my
realizing
God."
he knows this kid because he recognizes Maya, and says, kid, we need to bring you up to Mount Olympus, but because of his hyperactivity, he goes, you're going to need a job to burn off all of this energy. And that's when he becomes the messenger. And much like Zeus, every time we see him in his picture, and Hephaestus in his picture, and Hermes with his ADHD, in every picture he's doing the same thing.
Swinging around.
There, and then there, and then there. So you're going to channel your inner Hermes, and then you're going to go, Hermes, messenger god. And that's where our messenger god
I'm
comes
faster than him.
in. So we have not gotten to our next one yet.
No.
Okay. So at this point, all 12 thrones are filled in because Hestia still has a throne, the one that is up here. And this becomes our ruling 12 gods for years. It is just the 12 of them until eventually we introduce the new race of humans, which we're going to get to here in a little bit. So this story is going to go a little bit out of order because our last god does not come in until humans exist. But for the sake of making it easy, I'll just tell you the story now. So we're going to end up making a new race of humans. This new race of humans that we are getting ready to get into, they're not quite like that first race. Humans 2.0, there's a feature with them. Some people say it's a bug. That gods have what's called a true form. And
they can't see her. They
So you got to this part with me?
else
Okay.
die.
And so we got to the true form, and what happens if you see a god in their true form?
You're dead.
Oh, good. So we did get to
And
this.
then he's friendly with a he gets it friendly.
Alright, so we got to this part, the vaporizing. Did we get to him being friendly with?
Yes.
Alright, so we got to the assembling.
And then he told her no one can know, but she told everyone.
Alright, so we did get to the fact that then he disappears, pregnancy shows, don't tell anyone.
Then she goes around and tells like everybody and everybody.
Did we get to who finds out?
Yeah.
Hera finds out. Did we get to what Hera says?
No, Zeus has to kill her.
But that was where we stopped.
She said she didn't want to kill him.
That Zeus was,
wanted
Hera was
Zeus
tired
to
of
talk
killing,
to her.
and that Zeus was going to, and that's where we stopped. Perfect. All right.
That's
so that-
crazy. Zeus
I agree.
gonna kill?
So Hera comes up with a plan. She's like, I'm not going to kill this girl. I'm going to make Zeus do it instead. So she takes the form of an old woman, and then goes down to this village where Semele is. And then she walks around the village until she sees a pregnant woman, and then walks up to the pregnant woman and is like, hi, dear, how are... And before she can finish, Semele goes, how am I pregnant? Because Zeus is the baby daddy, but don't tell anyone because his wife is a psycho. Hi, who are you again? And Hera's like, I'm just a random old lady passing through your village, but you're telling me about this pregnancy thing. How do you know Zeus is the father? And someone goes, oh, that's easy. He showed up and he had like a white beard and a toga, and he kept going, I'm Zeus! So obviously it's Zeus. And Hera goes, oh, did he ever prove that he was Zeus? She goes, well, no, he didn't prove that he was Zeus. I mean, how would he prove that he's Zeus? And Hera goes, well, from what I understand, yes, put it right down there. Don't worry, Maximus put his there in just a moment too. She goes, from what I understand, those will be the ones he's going to put over there. If you want to have a god prove that they're a god to you, you just have to see them in their true form. And somebody goes, whoa, old lady, that's crazy. Everyone knows if we see a god in their true form, vaporize, we die. Hera goes, no, that's just a rumor. That's not true at all. I heard from my best friend's uncle's caretaker of his cat that if a human sees a god in their true form, what they have to do is get married to them. And that is why we never get a chance to see a god in their true form. It's like catching a leprechaun. So if you ever see a god in their true form, they have to marry you. And she goes, oh, is that true? And Hera goes, I would never lie to you. So the next time this Zeus shows up, either he's a creepy old man, or if he's really Zeus, he doesn't love you. Because if he loved you, he would show you his true form. Well, this makes Simile sad, because she realizes the old woman might be kind of right. Stella?
Can I sit there and work on my English competency?
That's fine. And so the more she starts thinking about this, after the old lady leaves, she starts getting angry. She's like, that old woman was correct. What's up, Aaliyah? Could you? No. But hopefully tomorrow, when you're all the way done, we can make that happen. We can only have hopes and dreams. And she realizes that this guy who keeps coming to talk to her is either a creepy old man, or it's Zeus, but he's never shown her his true form, so obviously he doesn't love her. So she starts getting angrier and angrier. She's like, you know what? When that man shows up, I'm going to yell at him and get in his face, and I'm going to make him show me his true form, or I'm going to boot him out of here. And one day, there's a knock at her door, and she opens it, and it's Zeus. And he's like, hey, baby, how? And she goes, And there's a snap, and a third snap. And then all of a sudden, there's like a little head going back and forth, and she was like, you better shut that door. She goes, She was like, you are not Zeus. He goes, yeah, I am Zeus. I've got a toga and a beard. She goes, if you are Zeus, you would show me your true form. And he goes, no, you're a human. If I showed you my true form, you would die. And she goes, oh, I've seen your true form. He goes, you have? She goes, your true form is dirty old man. And all of a sudden, she starts getting in his face and yelling. And Zeus is like, woman, you don't. She's like, I don't want to do that. And starts yelling and getting right up in his face, and spittle's flying out. He's like, woman, you have to settle down. No, you know what? I'm fine. You want to see my true form? And he goes, done. And she goes, and vaporizes her right there in front of her house. The problem is, with her being vaporized, the baby inside of her is only half human. So the baby goes splat and lands on the ground between them. And Zeus goes, oh snap. And looks around and no one's watching. So he picks up the baby, pulls out his knife that he carries, and plunges the knife deep into his own leg and cuts his leg open from his hip all the way down to his kneecap. And then opens it like a big burrito and crams the baby inside of it, and then wraps his burrito leg back around it. That way, he can bring the baby to full term because he doesn't want his child to die. And then he goes back up to Mount Olympus and starts walking around Mount Olympus with his giant leg baby pimple until he knows it's time to give birth. And he knows it's time to give birth when he's walking around. And all of a sudden, his leg is like, He's like, the baby's kicking. And then so he's like, all right, time to give birth. So he grabs his giant leg baby pimple and goes, spurt! And little baby is born. He names this baby Dionysus, which in Greek, Dionysus, the word, means two births, or born twice, because Dionysus was born 2 times. Once when his mom went poof, and then once when his dad went spurt. And so he names him the two-birth child. And Zeus loves his leg baby. He's like, leg babies are the best. They're right up there with brain babies. And he's like, oh. And then he realizes his brain baby has a throne, but he can't give his leg baby a throne. And that makes him sad because he loves his leg baby. So he throws what scientists call a hissy fit and starts yelling at all the gods on Mount Olympus. How dare you guys not let my leg baby have a throne? You guys are being selfish. Give my leg baby a throne. And eventually he yells so much, one of the gods decides to give up her throne so that way he can have it. And that's Hestia, who steps in and she's like, brother, I know it's a big day in a man's life when he gives birth to a leg baby. And he's like, darn tootin'. And she's like, your leg baby can have my throne. Zeus is so overwhelmed with emotion, he tells Hestia, you still get to stay on Mount Olympus. I am not going to make you leave. Even though you don't have a throne, you are considered the 13th Olympian, and you get to hang out with us. Dionysus, you get a throne, my little leg baby. And Dionysus comes up. So over the course of the next several years, Zeus gives Dionysus nectar and ambrosia, that special god Gatorade juice, and it turns him from a half god all the way into a full god. But Dionysus never forgets where he came from, which was humans. So he goes down to hang out with humans all the time. And one day, he brings something down to the humans that the gods had. And the humans think this thing is the best thing in the world.
Why?
It's like water, but it makes you feel funny afterwards. And he becomes the god of wine. And all of a sudden, humans are like, this is the best stuff ever. And they really fall for this wine stuff. Some people fall for it a little too much. And Dionysus is one of them. Much like Hermes and Hephaestus and Zeus, in every picture of Dionysus, he's pretty much doing the exact same thing because he really likes what he is the god of. Dionysus up there, Dionysus back there, Dionysus over here, and he's like, I love my Gatorade. So you're going to do the same thing right there. And you're going to go, Dionysus, king of wine. You have a choice. You can either drink the wine yourself, or instead, you can be like, cheers, and be like, Dionysus. And you can hold your cup up to ka-tink against somebody else. It's your choice of whichever one you feel strongly with. Dionysus, by the way, the Greeks thought he had two sides to his personality. Because they realized that Dionysus was normally a really nice god. But sometimes he had too much wine and something would happen to him. And he would become drunk. And so because of that, the Greeks thought there were two sides to his personality. A good side and a bad side. And it turns out he lived up to that. He threw some of the best parties in all of Greek mythology. There are multiple stories of him inviting and people would show up and rock out. But if he had too much wine and got drunk, he would get angry and then just kill everybody at his party. And there are also stories of everybody at his party dying. And that was sort of the little drawback to it. But one of his activities that he would do at his parties is he would have people act out some of his favorite scenes from books or from battles. Happened so often, he became known as one of the gods of theater. And there is a theater symbol that represents his two personalities. There you go. So if you've seen the comedy and tragedy symbols, they connect all the way back to Dionysus, because you have his happy side and his not so happy side. So now we have Dionysus. Tomorrow we are going to practice doing all 12 of these together. And then we will take our first volunteers, and maybe we get to have everybody sitting tomorrow. We can only hope. Because if not, we may have to start giving kids detentions. Specifically 2 of them who need motivation to help make them better people.